cool. What's the name of this club? I can't remember, but it's alright, alright. Just dance, gonna be okay. Da-da-doo-doo, just dance. Da-da-doo-doo, da-da-doo-doo, just dance. Gonna be okay. Da-da-da-da, dance, 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 just dance. Wish I could shut my Playboy mouth. How'd I turn my shirt inside out? Inside out. Control your poison, babe. Roses are thorns, they say. And we're all getting hoes tonight. What's going on the floor? I love this record, baby, but I can't see straight anymore. Keep it cool. What's the name of this club? I can't remember, but it's alright, alright. Just dance, gonna be okay. Da-da-doo-doo, just dance. Da-da-doo-doo, da-da-doo-doo, just dance. Gonna be okay. Dance,
When I come through on the dance floor, checking out that catalog. Can't believe so many women without a flaw. And I ain't gonna give it up, steady trying to pick it up like a car. I'ma eat it up, latch onto it until tomorrow, yeah. Shorty, I can see that you got so much energy. The way you're twirling up them hips round and round. There's no reason at all why you can't leave here with me. In the meantime, stay, let me watch you break it down and
dance, gonna be okay. Da-da-doo-doo, just dance. Da-da-doo-doo, just dance. Gonna be okay. Da-da-doo-doo, just use your muscle, carve it out, work it, hustle.
I got it, just stay close enough to get it.
Don't slow. Dive it, clean it, lights out, bleed it, spend the last in your pocket. Just dance, gonna be okay. Da-da-doo-doo, just dance. Da-da-doo-doo, just dance.
What?
Meet Sky and Nala are lively Labradors. Whether it's providing energy or supporting joint health, at Tails.com, dog food is never average. Every meal is 100% tailored to your dog's unique.
I wanna hold them like they do in Texas, please. Fold them, let them hit me, raise it, baby, stay with me. I love it. Love game, intuition, play the cards with spades to start. And after he's been hooked, I'll play the one that's on his heart. I'll get him hard, show him what I got. him high, show him what I got. Oh, 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 oh. I'll get him high, show him what I got.
Can't read my, no, we can't read on my poker face. She's got me like nobody. Can't read my, no, we can't read on my poker face. She's got me like nobody.
Poker face, poker face. Poker face, poker face. I won't tell you that I love you, kiss or hug you, 'cause I'm bluffing with my muffin. I'm not lying, I'm just stunning with my love glue gunning. Just like a chick in the casino, take your bank before I pay you out. I promise this, promises. Check this hand, 'cause I'm marvelous.
Can't read my, no, we can't read on my poker face. She's got me like nobody. Can't read my, no, we can't read on my poker face. She's got me like nobody. Can't read my, no, we can't read on my poker face. She's got me like nobody. Can't read my, no, we can't read on my poker face. She's got me like nobody. Can't read my, no, we can't read on my poker face. She's got me like nobody. Can't read my, no, we can't read on my poker face. She's got me like nobody.
Poker face, poker face. Poker face, poker face. Poker face, poker face. Poker face, poker face.
DJ Star Sunglasses.
Do to get you home. My jeans full of guap and they ready for shows. Cadillacs Maybach for the sexy grown. Put tone on the rocks that'll make you moan. One step, come on. Two steps, come on. Three steps, come on. Now that's $3 grand. What you think I'm playing? Baby girl, I'm the man. I did a rubber band. That's what I told her. Her legs on my shoulder. I knew it was over. That Henny and Cola got me like a soldier. She ready for Rover. I couldn't control her. So lucky on me, I was just like a clover. Shorty was hot like a toaster. Sorry, but I had to fold her like a pornography poster. She showed her.
You spin my head right around when you go down, when you go down.
Got the house with my swagger, hop in there with yo, I got places to go. People to see, time is precious, I look at my Cartier out of control. Just like my mind where I'm going, the women, the shorties know nothing but clothes. No stopping at my Pirelli's on. Unlike my jewelry, that's always on. I know the storm is coming, my pockets keep telling me it's gonna shower. Call up my homies, it's on and popping the night, cause it's meant to be ours. We keep putting away shots, cause we ballin' and spittin' up Patron every hour. Look, mama, ow, you just like the flowers. Serve you the truth with all that goody power. You spin my head right round when you go down, when you go down, down.
You spin my head right around when you go down, when you go down.
She got me throwing my money up. Ain't nothing more beautiful to me. It's going down. On the pole, I watch her go. She got me throwing my money up. Ain't nothing more beautiful to me. It's going down. Charlie must know I'm the man. My money lover like the #1 fan. Don't open my mouth, let her talk to my fans. My Benjamin Franklin's. A couple of grands, I got rubber bands. My paper planes making a dance. Get dirty, I'm like that's part of my. We building castles that's made out of. She's amazing, fire blazing, hotter than Cajun. Girl, won't you move a little closer? Time to get paid, it's maximum wage. That body belong on a poster. I'm in the days, that bottom is waving at me like damn it, I know you. You run the show like a gun out of holster. Tell me whatever, and I'll be your sofa. You spin my head right round when you go down, when you go down, down.
You spin my head right around when you go down, when you go down.
She got me throwing my money up. Ain't nothing more beautiful to me. It's going down. From the top of the pool, I watch her go. She got me throwing my money up. Ain't nothing more beautiful to me. It's going down. I'm spending my money. I'm out of control. Somebody help me. She taking my bankroll. But I'm king of the club. And I'm wearing a crown. Popping these bottles, touching these bottles, watching the asses go home.
You spin my head right around when you go down, when you go down. This was never the way I planned, not my intention. I got so brave, drink in hand, lost my discretion. It's not
DJ
what
Star
I'm
Sunglasses.
used to. Just wanna try you on. I'm curious for you. Caught my attention. I kissed a girl, I liked it. The taste of her cherry chapstick. I kissed a girl just to try it. I hope my boyfriend don't mind it. It felt so wrong, it felt so right. Don't mean I'm in love tonight. I kissed a girl and I liked it. I liked it. No, I don't even know your name. It doesn't matter. You're my experimental game. Just human nature. It's not what good girls do. Not how they should behave. My head gets like P. Diddy. Got my glasses, I'm out the door. I'm gonna hit this city. Before I leave, brush my teeth with a bottle of Jack. 'Cause when I leave for the night, I ain't coming back. I'm talking pedicure on our toes, toes. Trying on all our clothes, clothes. Boys blowing up our phones, phones. Drop top and playing our favorite CDs. Pulling up to the parties. Trying to get a little bit tipsy. Don't stop, make it pop. DJ, blow my speakers up tonight. I'ma fight till we see the sunlight. Tick tock on the clock, but the party don't stop. No. Don't stop, make it pop. DJ, blow my speakers up tonight. I'ma fight till we see the sunlight. Tick tock on the clock, but the party don't stop. No. Ain't got a care in the world, but got plenty of beer. Ain't got no money in my pocket, but I'm already here. And now the dudes are lining up, 'cause they hear we got swagger. But we kick 'em to the curb unless they look like.
Shing. What?
You offer to help them through a bunch of the low-hanging fruit items in the report that will have the biggest.
Many people engage in the stock market, but without knowing how all the gears turn behind the scenes, you are essentially investing blind. In this video, we're going to teach you the 63 most important stock trading and investing concepts you must know. There is also a massive catalog of premium guides that work in combination with today's lesson. We'll show you how you can get this all later in this video. Now quickly, please hit the like button as it allows for our team to continue to produce more free content on YouTube. Let's dive right into it. So what is the stock market exactly? The stock market is the global space for trading and investing. It acts as a funnel for investments to come in and profits to come out. So here's a quick history lesson. The stock market was the brainchild of the infamous Dutch East India Company. At one point, the Dutch East India Co. was the largest and most successful company in history. Achieving a worth of 8.28 trillion in the 17th century is nothing to turn your nose at that, even if they were importing such pungent spices. Dutch East India Co. wanted to continue their global expeditions in search of more exotic herbs and spices to bring back to Europe and sell at a profit. But to do this, they needed large sums of money, sums difficult for even the Dutch East India Co. to cough up. This is then when they decided to reach out to the public, selling stock in order to raise cash. This cash fueled their expeditions, which increased the profitability of the company and the value of the shares held by the initial investors. It was a win-win system, and so began a global exchange of money and assets. By 1792, 24 men, brokers and merchants alike, sat underneath one of the tallest trees in New York City and signed an agreement regarding the handling of trading, assets, and monetary exchange. They sat by the tree, which was the main place for commerce at the time, and set into action a set of standards for brokerage and trade on a little old street you may have heard of, Wall Street. Known as the Buttonwood Tree Agreement, it eventually evolved into the New York Stock Exchange, the biggest stock exchange in the world, which now trades an average of $18.9 billion a day and grows at more than 10% per year. So what are stock exchanges? Stock exchanges are marketplaces where traders, stockbrokers, and corporations buy and sell securities. In North America, you have the big ones, such as the New York Stock Exchange, the Nasdaq Stock Exchange, and the Toronto Stock Exchange. In China, you have the Shanghai Stock Exchange. In Europe, you have the Euronext. When you are researching stocks, the stock exchange is listed to the left of the ticker symbol. The Tesla stock is traded on the Nasdaq Stock Exchange. The Uber stock shows NYSE, which means it's traded on the New York Stock Exchange. The Royal Bank of Canada stock shows TSE, which means it's traded on the Toronto Stock Exchange. Moet Hennessy Louis Vuitton shows EPA, which means it's traded on the Euronext Paris Stock Exchange. The PetroChina stock shows SHA, which means it's traded on the Shanghai Stock Exchange. So what is a stock? A stock is an actual asset you invest in, and owning stock makes you a partial owner of that company. For example, If Billy buys stock in a company called Party Panda, Billy is then a partial owner of Party Panda. So what is a share? A share is the unit of measurement for the asset you have invested in. It tells us how much stock Billy owns in Party Panda. Stock price. A company's stock price is what you have to pay to obtain one share of the company's stock. $244.65 is the current price of Tesla and is what you have to pay to obtain one share. Stock price is determined by supply and demand. If you have higher demand or excess demand, price will rise to meet that demand. If you have higher supply or excess supply, price will decline to meet that supply. Price only stabilizes once there is an equilibrium between buyers and sellers, or an equilibrium between supply and demand. When you notice a rise in price, this means there are more buyers than sellers, so price rises to meet that demand. When you notice sideways price movement, this means there is an equilibrium between buyers and sellers. Then when you notice price reverse downwards, this means there is more sellers than buyers, and price falls to meet that excess supply. Ticker symbol. A ticker symbol is a unique abbreviation used to identify a publicly traded company on a stock exchange. This is usually what you type into your trading app to find the company you want to buy or sell shares in. Apple's ticker symbol is AAPL. Microsoft's ticker symbol is MSFT. Amazon's ticker symbol is AMZN. The ticker symbol is usually listed to the right of the stock exchange, so the Tesla ticker symbol is TSLA. Brokerage. Brokerages are companies that act as the middlemen in connecting buyers and sellers in order to actually complete transactions of stocks and other financial instruments. These are the apps you have on your phone or computer that you use to actually buy and sell stocks. Think companies like TD Ameritrade, Charles Schwab, and Robinhood. Margin. Margin is you borrowing money from your brokerage in order to purchase stocks through offering up securities and assets you already have in your account as collateral. Margin allows you to buy more than you otherwise could with just the cash you have in your account, meaning you can use margin to take on larger positions and achieve larger returns. But this also opens you up to possible larger losses and potentially unlimited risk.
I think I want my money back.
Bid-ask spread. A bid price is the highest amount a buyer is willing to pay for a stock. The ask price is the lowest amount the seller is willing to accept for a stock. The difference between the bid and ask price is called the spread. Level 2 data. Level 2 data is an exchange's electronic order book that retail traders and institutions can access in order to get an in-depth look at all the bid and ask prices of a particular asset, as well as volume. This allows you to essentially see supply and demand in real time and can be used to better time trade entries and exits. Trading hours. Trading hours are the hours that the main markets are open and when you can actually buy and sell stocks and other financial assets easily due to high trading volume and high liquidity. North American stock markets, such as the New York Stock Exchange and the Nasdaq Stock Exchange and the Toronto Stock Exchange, operate from 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Time. The stock market is closed on weekends and on holidays. Pre-market trading and after-hours trading. Pre-market trading is the trading activity that occurs before the regular market session opens. For North American exchanges, pre-market trading is from 4 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Traders look at the pre-market to gauge market strength and direction for the coming trading session. After-hours trading is the trading activity that occurs after the regular market session closes. For North American exchanges, after hours is from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. During pre-market and after hours, there is lower liquidity, larger quote spreads, and higher price volatility. Companies often choose to announce earnings outside of regular trading hours because this way, investors are not able to take immediate, irrational action against the stock and gives investors an opportunity to actually digest the info and act more rationally once the regular market session opens. Long position. A long position is when you buy a stock, also known as going long, expecting price to move upwards and making a profit based on its appreciation. For example, you buy a stock for $5 and it appreciates to $10. You've now made a profit of $5. This is the Upwork stock. You identify this great long trade setup here because you're at a key level with multiple touches. You're trading with the moving uptrend through the higher highs and higher lows. You have a trend line that crosses, making this an area of confluence. You have a candle color change and a long wick candle, which shows a reaction to the key area. You also have a recent reversal point close by to the left, showing that this level is valid and respected during this recent time period. Knowing all of this, you decide this is an amazing long trade opportunity and believe close by to the left, showing that this level is valid and have a change cross moving up is the Upwork stock. You identify this great long trade setup here because you're at a key level with multiple touches. You're trading with the moving uptrend through the higher highs and higher lows. You have a trend line that crosses, making this an area of confluence. You have a candle color change and a long wick candle, which shows a reaction to the key area. You also have a recent reversal point close by to the left, showing that this level is valid and respected during this recent time period. Knowing all of this, you decide this is an amazing long trade opportunity and believe that price will continue upwards. You want to buy the Upwork stock and enter into a long position. Let's say you have $500 you want to invest. This candle close here, which was your long entry point, is roughly $10 per share. To figure out how many shares you can buy with $500, take your $500 and divide it by $10 per share, which gives you 50. Meaning with your $500, you can buy 50 shares of the Upwork stock at this trade setup area. Price then takes off upwards, and you notice this recent swing high reversal point here, which makes a resistance level and supply zone. You also notice a very long wick candle form, which shows a reaction to the zone. So you decide this area here would be a good time to take profit. This candle close here is roughly $14.80 a share. Remember that you have 50 shares of the Upwork stock. So you take 50 and multiply it by $14.80 per share, which gives you $740. To figure out your profit, you take the $740 and minus the $500 it originally costed you to take on the long position, and you are left with $240 in profit. Now, going in the opposite direction. Short position. A short position is when you sell a stock, also known as going short, expecting price to move downwards and making a profit based on its depreciation. For example, you want to short one share of XYZ stock that is trading at $10 a share. So you need to borrow one share of XYZ stock from your broker, and then you sell it on the open market and pocket $10 from its sale. You now owe your broker one share of XYZ stock. At a later date, XYZ's stock drops from $10 a share to $5 a share. You buy back one share of XYZ stock for $5 and give it back to your broker. You've now made $5 from this short trade, as you previously sold one share for $10, but it only costed you $5 to buy it back and settle your debt with your broker. This is the Funko Pop stock. You notice this recent swing high reversal point here, which gives you a supply zone and resistance zone. As price comes back up, you notice a wide divergence form inside of the zone, which signals a possible reversal is coming. You have a rising wedge pattern, and once it breaks below the pattern and also forms a lower low, you believe price will continue downwards. You then decide you want to open a short position. You have $1,000 you want to use to short the Funko stock. This candle here, which was your short entry point, is roughly $11.80 per share. To figure out how many shares you can short, take your $1,000 and divide it by $11.80 per share, which gives you roughly 84.75. And you would round down to 84 so that you don't go over your $1,000 limit. Now, with your $1,000, you can borrow 84 shares from your broker and sell it on the open market at $11.80 and pocket $991.20. Price then continues downwards, and you notice this recent swing low reversal point here, which makes a support level and demand zone. You decide this area here would be a good time to cover your short position. This candle close here is roughly $7.30. Remember, you owe your broker 84 shares of the Funko stock. Buying back 84 shares at the market price of $7.30 will cost you $613.20. After you settle your debt with your broker, you take the $991.20 you initially got from selling at the top and you subtract $613.20 from buying back and covering your short position at the bottom. And as a result, you've netted a profit of $378. Bull market. A bull market is when prices in a financial market are trending upwards and when there is a 20% rise in a major stock market index. There's an overall positive optimistic market sentiment, which leads to more buying than selling and results in an overall rise and appreciation of assets. During bull markets, price makes higher highs and higher lows. In bull markets, you lean towards taking long trade setups to trade with the overall upwards market momentum. Short trades in a bull market are riskier as they are short-lived and just corrective pullbacks before the larger uptrend continues. Bear market. A bear market is when prices in a financial market are trending downwards and when there is a 20% decline in a major stock market index. There is an overall negative market sentiment or fear in the market, which leads to more selling than buying and results in an overall decline and depreciation of assets. During bear markets, price makes lower highs and lower lows. In a bear market, you lean towards taking short trade setups to trade with the overall downwards market momentum. Long trades in a bear market are riskier as they are short-lived and just corrective pullbacks before the larger downtrend continues. Before we continue, we want to hear from you. Tell us in the comments below right now what video topics we should cover next. As always, please hit the like button as it allows for our team to continue to produce more free videos on YouTube. Market order. A market order is an order to buy or sell a stock at as close to the current market price as possible. For example, if the stock price is currently trading at $5 and you want to buy a share, you simply click buy without any additional requirements. And if you are trading a highly liquid and popular stock, it'll often fill instantly and very close to the $5 price. Limit order. A limit order is a buy or sell order at a specific price where the market currently is not. Let's say the price of a stock is trading at $5 and you don't want to purchase it until it reaches $4. You would set a buy limit order for $4. And if price gets there, a buy order for $4 would be automatically triggered for that price or lower. If price never gets to the $4 price, no buy order would be initiated. So let's say you are now holding a stock you purchased at $4 a share and you don't want to sell until it gets to $10. You would set a sell limit order for $10. And if price gets there, a sell order for $10 would be automatically triggered for that price or higher. If price never gets to the $10 price, no sell order would be initiated. Stop order. A stop order is used to limit losses or to lock in gains. Let's say you're currently holding a stock you purchased at $10 and don't want to hold it any longer if it dips below $8. You set a stop order for $8, and if price reaches the $8 price, a sell order will be automatically initiated to cut your losses. Let's say you purchased a stock at $20 and the current market price is $30, meaning you have gained $10. You want to lock in those gains, so you set a stop order for $25. If price starts to reverse and hits that $25 price, a sell order will be automatically initiated so that you cash out of your position and lock in your $5 gain. Volatility. Volatility is the swinging of a stock price up and down. When you see smaller and less frequent swings of price, this signals lower volatility. When you see larger and more frequent swings of price, this signals higher volatility. Notice the drastic and wide swings of price, which signals high volatility and means that there is more risk for your trades, but also more reward. Notice the small swings of price, which signals low volatility and means that there is less risk for your trade, but also less reward. Liquidity. Liquidity is how fast and easily you can buy or sell an asset without it significantly impacting the stock price. Higher liquidity means once you click buy or sell, your position will be filled very fast, almost instantly at times. Low liquidity means when you click buy or sell, your position won't be filled instantly, will often take a longer time to be filled, and might not even be filled at all. Blue chip stocks. Blue chip stocks are stocks from large corporations that are seen as safe, stable, and reputable, and that have often been around for a longer period of time. They have many years of solid earnings and often pay dividends. Think companies like Microsoft, Apple, Johnson & Johnson, and Coca-Cola. Penny stocks. Penny stocks are stocks from small companies with a share price that is less than $5. They have lower trading volume and lower liquidity. When you try to buy or sell a penny stock, it will often take longer for your positions to be filled, and they might not even be filled at all due to low volume and low liquidity. OTC, or over-the-counter securities. OTC securities are securities not listed on major stock exchanges and require a broker-dealer network to buy and sell them. These companies don't qualify or meet standards to be able to trade on major stock exchanges. Over-the-counter securities tend to be less liquid and are also less regulated, which brings more potential risks. S&P 500. The S&P 500, or the Standard & Poor's 500, is a market capitalization weighted index that tracks the performance of 500 of the largest companies listed on U.S. stock exchanges. This index was launched in 1957 by credit rating agency Standard & Poor's. The S&P 500 is often used to gauge market sentiment of the US stock market as a whole, meaning you can look at its performance to give you a bullish bias, bearish bias, or neutral bias. This here is what the S&P 500 should look like from search. Dow Jones Industrial Average. The Dow Jones is a stock market index that tracks 30 large blue chip stocks from the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ. The index was created by Charles Dow in 1896 to act as a proxy for the health of the wider US economy. Dow Jones Industrial Average, again, can be used to gauge overall market sentiment and performance of the US stock market. This here is what the Dow Jones Industrial Average should look like from search. NASDAQ Composite. The NASDAQ Composite is another stock market index that includes all the stocks listed on the NASDAQ Stock Exchange. Just like the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones Industrial Average, you can use the NASDAQ Composite to gauge overall market sentiment and performance of the US stock market. This here is what the NASDAQ Composite should look like from search. VIX, or CBOE Volatility Index. The VIX, also known as the Fear Index, measures the implied volatility of the S&P 500 and the market's expected volatility over the coming 30 days. The VIX has a negative correlation or inverse relationship to the S&P 500, meaning when you see the VIX rise, this signals fear is rising and market confidence is declining, which often results in the overall stock market to trend downwards. If the VIX falls, this signals fear is declining and market confidence is increasing, which often results in the overall stock market to trend upwards. Knowing this, you can use the VIX as a way to gauge market sentiment and your trading directional bias. This here is what the VIX index should look like from search. Market cap.
Longer.
This here is expected volatility over the coming 30 days. The S&P.
Digital agencies, listen up. Duda introduces the power of website building, AI and SEO combined.
VIX, or CBOE Volatility Index. The VIX, also known as the Fear Index, measures the implied volatility of the S&P 500 and the market's expected volatility over the coming 30 days. The VIX has a negative correlation or inverse relationship to the S&P 500. Meaning when you see the VIX rise, this signals fear is rising and market confidence is declining, which often results in the overall stock market to trend downwards. If the VIX falls, this signals fear is declining and market confidence is increasing, which often results in the overall stock market to trend upwards.
Yes, bro.
Knowing this, you can use the VIX as a way to gauge market sentiment and your trading directional bias.
Why did I not
This
get a
here is what the VIX
shuriken
index
time?
should look like from search. This here is what the VIX index should look like from search.
Bro, this boss, he
Market
never
cap.
took me this long, man, let me tell you.
Market capitalization is the total value of a company's shares. Simply take a
Yeah.
company's number of outstanding shares and multiply it by the current market price per share to get your market capitalization. From Google, this here is where you can find a company's market cap. So for the
Yeah,
Apple stock,
motherfucker.
their market cap is
Yeah, you
2.69
old hack.
trillion.
Come here.
EPS, or earnings per share. Earnings per share is calculated by taking a company's net income, subtract from that preferred dividends, then divide that amount by the average number of outstanding shares. EPS is used to gauge how much money a company makes for each one of its shares of stock. In simplified terms, investors use EPS to measure a company's profitability. From the NASDAQ website, you can easily find any company's EPS. So for the Apple stock, you can find all the previous quarter's EPS. PE ratio, or price to earnings ratio.
I do have
To
the
calculate a
res.
company's PE ratio, you take a
the res
company's
already.
current price per share and divide it by the earnings per share, or EPS. PE ratio is a method used to gauge whether the price of a stock is accurately or fairly priced against its earnings potential. Traditionally speaking, the higher the PE ratio, the more overvalued the company is, where in contrast, the lower the PE ratio, the more undervalued the company is.
If I
From the
tank one
NASDAQ
more of
website,
those-
you can easily find any company's PE ratio. This
Yeah, I
here
will
is the
die.
Apple stock. Earnings report. Earnings reports are quarterly financial statements issued by publicly traded companies that investors
more life,
use
more
to
life.
gauge company health, performance, and whether they are good investments or not. Earnings
Oh, yeah,
reports
this is like
include
a-
an income statement,
this is
a
like
balance
a
sheet, and a
challenge
cash
asking
flow
people.
statement. Before each earnings report, there's an estimated EPS. And when the earnings report is actually released, the final EPS will either meet, beat, or miss the estimated EPS, which can lead to higher volatility and swings of price. An EPS meet will traditionally mean the stock will stay stable. An EPS miss will traditionally lead to a dip or depreciation of the stock. And an EPS beat will traditionally lead to a rise or appreciation of the stock. From Google search, you will find all the earnings calls down here. On the NASDAQ website, you can find the date of the next earnings call. Dividend. Dividends are periodic payments made to you from companies you own stocks in, usually taken from the company's profits. Not all stocks pay dividends.
Bro, I
When
thought I
looking
had
at
this
dividend paying
fight down.
stocks, identify the dividend per share, dividend yield, and dividend payout ratio.
Maybe I should use
Companies that
different
provide consistent dividend payments that also increase over time are seen as companies that
No,
are
not
healthy
ninjutsu,
and
this,
gaining in strength. Companies that
combat
provide
arts.
inconsistent dividend payments
So I'm
or
using
dividend payments
Ichimonji, which
that
is
decrease
this.
over time are seen as weakening companies.
Right?
From the
Where I
NASDAQ
use
website, you can find all the dividend
this.
info you need. IPO, or initial
Or-
public offering.
I like
An
this
IPO is
one.
when a private company goes public and starts selling its shares on a stock exchange where the general public can purchase. There are always IPOs to look
Yeah,
out
I
for,
know.
one of which
I'm
was the
just
sleeper
excited.
stock Monster
This one?
Beverage. Let's show this using a figurative
Looks
example.
good.
1. A private company
what's this
named
one?
Party Panda pitches the idea of their goods and services to potential public
You can
investors.
charge it, I think.
2. If the pitch is successful, investors can sponsor the company, and now Party Panda is ready to hit the market. 3. Party Panda,
actually
now
like a
backed by
steam
investors,
fiber, right?
shoots onto the public market. This could be the New York Stock Exchange, the NASDAQ, or any number of other stock exchanges, depending on where Party Panda operates from. Now anyone can invest in Party Panda by buying stocks. You can use an IPO calendar like the one on the NASDAQ website to track upcoming IPOs or recent IPOs.
What's up?
Stock split. A stock split is when a company
charge it for
splits
that on
its
the
stock,
policy
which
book.
increases the number of shares outstanding, but as a result, each individual share is devalued. For example, if there is a 2-for-1 split, every share you have is now doubled, but each one of those shares is worth half as much. This is often done to make each share price lower to appeal to new investors so that they'll buy in. You can use a stock split calendar like the one on the NASDAQ website to track upcoming splits. Stock buyback. A stock buyback
Bro, let me show you the coolest boss.
track
Actually, no,
upcoming
no, let's spoil
split.
it. Let's spoil it.
calendar like the one on the buy-in. You can use a stock split calendar like the one on the NASDAQ
A little bit, man.
website to track upcoming splits. Stock buyback. A stock buyback is when a company uses its cash to repurchase its own outstanding shares in order to reduce the number of shares on the market. This in turn means the remaining shares on the market increase in value and theoretically should lead to an increase in the company's stock price. Warren Buffett famously loaded up on Apple stock due to his support of their aggressive share buyback program, which has resulted in the meteoric rise of Apple's stock ever since, and is Berkshire Hathaway's largest stockholding. This is what happens when a company buys back their own shares. Short interest. Company buys back their own shares. Short interest. Short interest is the total number of shares of a stock that have been sold short and that haven't been covered yet. An increase in short interest signals investors are getting more bearish. A decrease in short interest signals investors are getting more bullish. Use a site like MarketWatch and find a company's short interest. Look at the floated short percentage. The higher this percentage is, the more pessimistic investors are towards the stock, and the stock overall is deemed a more risky play. Short squeeze. When a stock rises significantly due to heavy buying presence, short sellers who are holding short positions on that same stock are forced to cover those shorts and purchase the stock in order to limit further losses. The double action of long buyers buying up the stock and short sellers also buying up the stock triggers an explosive move upwards. This is the GameStop stock, and I'm sure you all remember the massive short squeeze that happened here.
As the stock soared, the financial world was left stunned.
We are seeing a phenomenon that I have never seen.
Notice how these drastic moves upwards after a short squeeze usually don't.
Never seen.
Notice how
We are seeing a phenomenon that I have never seen.
Notice how these drastic moves upwards after a short squeeze usually don't sustain, and price often comes back down to earth afterwards because the driving force behind the initial massive move upwards was based on irrational factors and not fundamental factors. This is the AMC stock, and here was the massive short squeeze. And again, price crashed down afterwards and wasn't able to sustain the high price, as the company's fundamentals did not support the insanely expensive price of the asset. ETF or exchange traded fund. An ETF is an investment fund that invests in a basket of stocks, bonds, or other financial assets. Meaning when you buy an ETF, you are investing in many different securities all at once, allowing you to be more diversified. ETFs are bought and sold on traditional stock exchanges, meaning you can buy and sell them just like any other stock. There are ETFs for every industry and niche you can think of, meaning you can buy ETFs for specific sectors you want to gain exposure to. Everything from tech ETFs to currency ETFs to AI ETFs to banking ETFs to energy ETFs. Inverse ETF or inverse exchange traded fund. Investing in an inverse ETF allows you to profit from the decline of a benchmark index, such as the S&P 500, instead of shorting individual stocks. In simplified terms, if you see the S&P 500 go down by 2%, you should see the price of your inverse ETF go up by 2%. Mutual fund. A mutual fund is a type of investment where money is pulled together from various investors to then invest in stocks, bonds, and other financial assets.
No, yeah,
Mutual
yeah,
funds are
but
managed by professional money
it's like
managers,
my-
which
the
comes with
primary
its
one
own
is
set of
always
fees.
solid.
Money from a mutual fund is earned in 3 ways. 1. Through dividends from stocks or interest from bonds held within the fund's portfolio. 2. Securities that are sold for a profit. 3. If the fund's shares increase in value, you can sell your shares in the mutual fund for a profit. Index fund. An index fund is a type of mutual fund or